Welcome back to our lesson of Adobe After Effects. In this lesson, we are going to learn all about masks and how you'll be able to apply the mask effect in Adobe After Effects compositions. Well, masking is a very essential tool or essential task to do in Adobe After Effects to get results, to get good colors, to get good contrast and all of those. Okay, masking is very important. Let me just give you a small example. I'm going to click on this rectangle tool and make up the rectangle tool over here, and we have our mask available on this first one. Now you will find an option called this, let's say, mask. From here you can select whichever one you want. When I select on subtract, you can see that it is becoming dark. I'm going to click on, let's say, intersect, then it is again visible. I'm going to click on lighten, it is still visible, darken, visible, and difference is still visible. But when you click on add or subtract, I'm going to click on subtract, it will not be visible. I'm going to click on my selection tool and move it, and yet you can see that I have my content right below it. So this is actually making up a small layer. So now you know a bit about what mask is. Now the first thing I'm going to do is going to be removing all of them, okay? Because I don't need any of them. I'm going to click on this one to delete. Now I'm going to do is going to be making up a new composition, and in the new composition I'm going to show you masking with shapes. I'm going to click on this new main comp. I'm going to click on file and then open up new composition. Click on this. Let's say this is going to be solids. Now from here select up the resolution, whichever one you want to use. Let's say I'm going to use this one, and from here I'm going to use the frame rate to be 40 frames. Now I don't want drop frames. I'm going to click on that, and the background should be black in color. I'm going to press on OK. Now I have 40 frames per second and also a panel. Now let's say I'm going to do is make up a couple of shapes by using my pencil, because I'm going to show you the individuality, how that actually functions and all of it. Now click on this pencil. You'll be able to select out whichever color you want. Let's say I'm going to click on somewhere around blue. Press on OK. I'm going to do is going to be making one like this. Now as I have it, I'm going to do is making up more like this. Let's say I also have it. You can see basically how it actually functions. So I'm going to click on the selection tool, and as I have all of them together, I'm going to do is keep it up like here. Now see one thing. I'm going to click on this mask option, increase the size. I'm going to use is select on each and every one of them. I'm going to do select on content, and you have shape 1 2 3 4, all of them. And obviously from there you have add option, right? And in the add option you will be able to use this content, or let's say the masking option. So first I'm going to do is going to be decreasing the size of this, no content, and go up to transform and fix out the position. And from there what we're going to do is going to be clicking on content again, and here let's say I'm going to click on whichever color you want to use. Let's say I want to multiply. Now from here on the shape 2, I'm going to be increasing all of them. First I'm going to do is increase the size of this, and you can see that there are a lot of these shapes. So 4 of these shapes, and 4 of these are the normal ones. But you will be able to fix out the fill, stroke, and path however you want. But if you want to add in mask, just click on this rectangle tool. I'm going to do is add in a mask, and after the mask is added, the next thing I'm going to do is going to be obviously something else. I'm going to click on the shape option, and from here, as I have a new layer, if you don't have a new layer, what you're going to do is just make your own one. Press on Ctrl Z, go off to layers, press on new, click on, let's say, solids, or whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to click on solid, press on OK, and that layer has been added. Now I'm going to do is take it down below. Now what I'm going to do is going to be adding in that shape. I'm going to do is make up that shape over here, and after I make up that shape, I'm going to do is mask it off. It's going to take a bit of a time to render, and as it is rendered, I'm going to do select on the selection tool. You can see from over here we have it. Now I'm going to do is going to be click on add, and I can subtract it, or let's say I'm going to click on intersect. Let's say I'm going to keep it on difference, or whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to keep it on add or subtract. And you can see how it basically looks like. You can see the gray part has been selected and also kept it over here. So this is basically how it actually functions. And also now you can see it is like right below them. If you want to add in like mask to like individual stuffs, let's say I'm going to do is click on it. From here you'll be able to select on whichever color you want. Let's say I'm going to click on darken or lighten, pin light, or whichever one you prefer. Just select on it and it will be applied. Okay, so now you know how you'll be able to mask on shapes. Now first thing I'm going to do is going to be selecting on them, control, and I will delete them too. Delete, because I don't need them anymore. Now what I'm going to do is open up a photo. I'm going to click on import, file. Now I have my photo over here, which is applied. Now I'm going to do is select on this, and I'm going to do is paste it right around here. Will take a bit of a time to like render up. I'm going to do is minimize the size, hold on to shift so that you get a perfect result. Okay, we got it. I'm going to do is zoom in, and the first thing I'm going to do is you cannot rasterize a photo, so I'm going to keep it like this. Okay, I'm going to do is decrease the size of this so that I can get you know, like more spaces over here. So I'm going to do is going to be making mask or adding in layers so that we can use a bit of color pops and a bit more vignettes which we'll be able to apply. But first off, we're going to learn about how we can apply in solids, because solid is like very important to apply. So I'm going to do is going to be selecting on this as we are done. We also have it over here. So I'm going to do is decrease the size. So now I'm going to do is going to be, let's say, to add in solid, we can add in solid from over here. Let's say I'm going to cut it off because we don't need it anymore. Or you can use a start comp. That's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. I'm going to do is going to be adding up this photo over here so that it is applied. And I'm going to do is do the same thing, like, you know, decreasing the size. And that has been applied. So we have our perfect result. Now we are going to add in our, let's say, layer, or let's say the solid. You can go from here, new, and click on solid, and you'll be able to add in whichever layer you want. From here you can make comp size, you can select the color, select whichever color you want. Let's say I'm gonna choose somewhere around this. I'm gonna click on OK, press on OK, and you're good to go. We have our solid applied, but what we're gonna do is going to be making it a bit different. So I'm gonna first off select on this and do is increase the size. The first thing I'm gonna do is increase the size of this. And here we have our transform. Here in our transform, I'm going to do is fix out our opacity. Even though we have it, now we can see a greenish tint in the photo. You'll be able to do that with this, but if you wanted to fix the modes, you can also do that. Let's say I'm going to do is lighten. From here, let's just select on hard light. Now we have a bit of difference on it. I'm going to click on this, which as we are done with it, I'm going to click on it. Now we are done on this part. Composition starter. You can see it looks a lot more better. Now let's do it with a bit of shape. So first thing I'm going to do is click on the shape option. Alright, click on it. From here I'm going to do is select another one. Let's say I'm going to use the pencil. Now first off, in the pencil I'm going to select on this. From here I want this yellow type of tint. So I'm going to click on OK. Now I'm going to do is select on this. Select on this. Now as it is done, next thing I'm going to do is going to be clicking on it, and from here I'm going to do is clicking on content. In our content on transform, I'm going to do is use this opacity, decrease it, and from here what I'm going to do is going to be clicking on mode. I'm going to do is select on, let's say, subtract, which is also a bit different. I'm going to do is Control Z. Now you can see how it actually looks like. I'm going to click on composition. You can see the difference of this. This basically looks a lot more different, like a lot better. You can see the difference on this side and also on that side. Now you can see basically what it actually looks. Now let's play it, and you can see there is this line, but we don't want this line. So to do that, I'm going to do is going to be select on the subtract. From here, I'm going to use exclusive and see basically how it works. That's still visible. From here, I'm going to do is going to be selecting on our feather. Press on F. You find out that option of F will appear up. Select on this. So basically what you can see that it is making a lot of difference on the photo. But you can also delete them. Let's say I'm going to do is delete these parts, shape and layer. We're going to have our photo over here. If you want to like make up another layer, you can go through here, or you can also go off the layer and click on new. From here, just select on solid, select on whichever color you want. Let's say I'm going to do select on this, select this color, press on OK, and select on whichever units you want, press on OK, and we have it. Basically, I'm going to do is remove this part first, and I'm going to click on the solid option and select whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to do is click on over here. As we have it over here, I'm going to do is keep it underneath or maybe a bit above so that I can get a tint of that color. From here, I'm going to do select on this, and you have this mode option, pin light, or whichever one you want. Let's say I'm going to do select on subtract. Let's say from here I want pin light, or let's say I'm going to click on soft light. Okay, you can see the color has changed. Click on transform and fix the opacity. You can see it looks a lot more better, and also quite similar to the one which we used like a bit ago. You can use the rectangle tool too and make up, let's say I'm going to do is make it up like this, and from here I'm going to do is click on rectangle, increase the size. From here, let's say instead of stroke, I'm going to do is darken up, no stroke, or you can also use no stroke at all. I'm going to click on add, and let's say I'm going to click on this group empty, and from here I'm going to do is remove this or fix out the opacity. You'll be able to do that too. That's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. You can see we have this yellow tint on over here, and what I'm going to do is also fix on it, right click on it and select it up and mask it up. Click on new mask, and the new mask has been applied. And after the new mask has been applied, what you can do is going to be click on mask and click on add and fix up on darken or whichever one you want. Let's say make difference, or maybe intersect, or maybe like subtract. So that is how basically you'll be able to add in that mask if there is like no mask available over there. So I'm going to do is remove it, and I'm going to do is click on over here, go off to transform and fix out the opacity. Let's say I'm going to do is keep it 100%. Even though I have a subtract, I'm going to click on insert intersect, click on lighten, or maybe click on darken, whichever one you want. That's like totally up to you, or make difference. But if you click on subtract, it will be removed, or click on add, and then you will be able to fix the opacity however you want. Okay, so this is basically how you'll be able to work with mask. And if you want to make it with the first one, let's say I'm going to click on the photo, do is remove these contents, click on the photo, and I'm going to do is add in a new mask, right click, mask, new mask, and I'm going to do is click on over here, right click on it, mask it up, click on mask option. I'm going to add in, let's say I'm going to use darken or whichever one you want. That's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. Okay, now you basically know how you'll be able to add in mask. But another thing is going to be a bit different. I'm going to click on, let's say, composition starter, and first off remove them again, and this time I'm going to do is use up a bit difference. Okay, so here I'm going to use the pen tool again. Click on this pen tool, click on this F, let's say I'm going to press on OK, click on this, click on this, click on this, and click on over here. Do the same thing which I showed you a while ago, increase the size, and from here I'm going to do is add in another mask, right click, and if it's still not working, what you're going to do is right click, and over here you will find out mask, new mask. I'm going to do is click on mask, and I'm going to do is invert it if you want to. If it's not, then click on mask again and use intersect or whichever one you want. Let's say darken. From here, press on F, and you can see the mask feather option appears up, and from there you're going to use the feather option to like increase or decrease the size of this feather. Now as it is increased, I'm going to do is click on over here, subtract, and click on, let's say, intersect, whichever one you want. From here I'm going to click on this, let's say linear or maybe soft light. You can see the soft light, and fix the mask feather. That's like totally up to you how you're going to work with it. And click on darken or lighten, select whichever one seems to be perfect, add or maybe difference. You can see it looks a lot more better, but there's like a total difference over there. Okay, So what you're gonna do is click on this layer option, click on strokes, press on 0 strokes. Okay, press on OK. I'm gonna do is press on this 0, hit on enter. From here, rotate bezier, and from here select on this, and you are good to go. You can do the same thing over on the top. So I'm gonna do is click on this pen tool again, make up another shape. What I'm gonna do is keep it over here, make it like this. Now I'm gonna do is going to be clicking on the second mask, increase the size. First I'm gonna do is click on this. From here, I'm gonna do is going to be pressing on F again. I'm gonna do is increase the feather or decrease the feather. Select on the fill. Let's say I'm gonna press on OK. Now you can see it looks a bit different. Now let's see the difference. You can see this part is a lot more darker, but this part is not. So basically, now you know how you will be able to mask it up. And also it's a lot similar to color grading and all of those. You'll be able to see a lot of difference in these sectors, and also a lot of difference when you like apply it. You can see this is lighter and this one's darker. So now you know how you'll be able to apply affected mask on each and every part of your photo. And you can also increase the size. Let's say I'm going to do is increase it like this, and I'm going to increase the size of this like this too. I'm going to do is increase the size and increase this size too. Now you have a perfect or a different type of photo which looks a lot like has been edited, and you can see it looks a lot more darker. Okay, but if you remove all of them, you will find out that the photo is a lot lighter and also looks a lot more better. But it's like, you know, just plain photo. But what we did is just, you know, plain edits on a specific photo, which we applied all of our edits, our customizations by using our mask tool. So hope you understood everything about this lesson on masking effects and also masking in layers. Okay, so just like I told you, you can right click from here, click on new and select on solid. You can also go off the layers and click on new and go off the solid. You can also press on Ctrl Y. It will open up the same interface just like the one you see or one we've opened up. After you're done, just press on OK and make up your own edits just the way you want it. So let's move on to our next lesson, where we are going to learn about effect shape layers.